Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you again. Mike McCoy, Simone Eli joining you. It feels like it's been a good minute since the SEC championship game, Mike. It's been a second since we talked ball, but of course, Alabama is in the college football playoffs. The Tide gearing up for the Rose Bowl game against Michigan on Monday. We're going to break all of that down, talk about Alabama's football future, what it looks like in this matchup and beyond as we gear up for the big one in Pasadena. Let's go head to head. Welcome into Head to Head, everybody. We are counting down to kick off another day closer to the college football playoff semifinals. I want to thank our sponsor, Andrews Sports Medicine. Mike McCoy joining us from Maximum Performance Institute in Bessemer. Mike, I hope you had a great Christmas. It's the happiest time of year. How's everything going on your end?
Everything is going well. The college guys are home, so they are working me. So just needless to say, I'm spread thin as mayonnaise right now. So
I feel that.
I am good, blessed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just ready. I'm ready for some football, some real
Good
football.
stuff. Some real football. I know bowl season is underway. I didn't always love bowl season, but I do like to see teams celebrate and the camaraderie of winning, even if it isn't in the playoffs. But Alabama with a huge opportunity to compete for a national championship as the Tide get in as the 4 seed in the college football playoff. And Mike, I know it's been a second since the selection Sunday, but we haven't talked since then. A huge controversy, so to speak, in college football as Florida State was left out. Of course, they're undefeated, ACC champs. Alabama gets in after their huge upset win over Georgia. I think the committee got it right. I have a feeling you do as well, but it did break precedence because it was something they've never done before.
My whole thing is Alabama has a lot. If we take a look in the last 23 years, how many teams in the SEC have won the Natty?
A lot.
There's 14.
Yeah.
And the next up is what, 3? Come on, man. Nobody coming to see y'all, man. They know. What I said it before the season started. Money talks. Nobody coming to ACC watch y'all play, man. What it is, man.
Listen, it is what it is. And I agree that money talks. I think what was surprising really for me more than anything was that the committee did something that they had never done before, because they had previously always put in the most deserving teams and not the 4 best teams. I think that they changed the script this time. They put in a better team, maybe over a more, quote, deserving team if you look at just the resume and the fact that Florida State had never lost. But regardless, that is water under the bridge, at least for Tide fans. They could care less. They are in. Alabama will play Michigan in the 1-4 matchup on Monday in Pasadena, California. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff in the Rose Bowl. Mike, looking back at the SEC championship game, this Alabama defense did what it needed to. And down the stretch, I mean, it was a close battle, but they hung on. Alabama took care of the ball. What were your thoughts in total in this win over Georgia?
I think they played all 4 quarters from start to finish. I think Alabama has they gotten better each week and every week.
Yeah.
They come in, they do what we know they're going to do. I've said it from day one. I wasn't Now, granted, we the offensive line early in the season, we're playing like powder puffs,
Sure.
They have been holding their own. They've done that lame thing, whatever they bought in. They bought in. They have made them L's. I wouldn't do it, but I'm throwing them up for this game.
Yep, it's taken over. And if you saw the most recent news that now guys are like profiting off of the Lank shirts and their numbers on the back, and they send them to a bunch of former players who were playing in the NFL. So listen, man, whatever you got to do to buy in, they have certainly bought in. And you can tell that this team is riding some real momentum going into the playoffs now. And no one bigger than Jalen Milroe, nearly 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns in that SEC championship game. And he was emotional after the game, Mike, and I think understandably so. This is a guy who didn't know what his future was going to look like year after year at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And then even this season, in the beginning of the year, no one really knew who was going to be the starter, what was going to happen. They brought in a guy who was familiar with the offensive coordinator. But you, Mike McCoy, have said week in and week out, this is the guy, he's a dude, let him play, and that has panned out.
I'm going to say it time and time again. The same thing that got you to Alabama is going to be the thing that keep you at Alabama.
Yeah.
Let the kid flourish. Take the dog off the leash.
Yep.
And what's more dangerous, a pit bull that's contained or one that's off the leash?
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of the one that's off the leash. And we have not seen this kid play his best game yet. I don't care. Everybody talk about the Auburn game. We have not seen this kid play his best. I think when it's all said and done, again, we're looking at Michael Vick in the making, just with more muscles. Yep. I'm not going to say he's as fast, and everybody, I'm going to catch a lot of flack behind it, but I think that's what he's going to develop into, and I'm excited to see. So all you fans that were sleeping on him the first 3 games, go on and send him an apology letter. Send me an apology letter.
Yeah, you deserve one. You deserve one because you hung in there. I mean, week after week, you hung in there. And Mike, I think that one thing that we've talked about is the weapons around Jalen Milroe and wanting to see these guys take another step up. And I feel like we have in the likes of Isaiah Bond and Roy Dell Williams and a few others. I think that you're starting to see this team, or you have over time, really start to mesh, get their timing down, and really just start to understand the offense and what the cumulative goal was.
Well, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm still not Tommy Reese is granted. Because early on, I was like, it's unseasoned chicken.
I know.
I still need to see some things. Well, one thing about it, I think he's getting a lot more comfortable in understanding. This guy Milroe is a Swiss Army knife. He can run. He can beat you with his passing. You have to always account for him. And we don't even use all our weapons. I think we have 4 receivers that are very much capable of having over 800 yards apiece. And we got 2 tight ends that we don't use enough. So again, it's scary.
You set the bar high.
You set this is scary. You got all these weapons and you're only using a quarter of what you have and you're still winning.
Yeah.
That says a lot about what Coach Saban has done in the recruiting. So,
listen,
it's going to be scary.
They're going to need just about every single weapon when it comes to this Michigan defense. All right. Well, listen, you know what, Mike, I would not disagree with you, but I looked at some of the numbers and we're going to break this down. Okay. The Michigan's defense is number 1 in the country in points allowed and second in total yards given up. And so this is a unit that is no joke. And I know it is the Big Ten. I know it's not the SEC, but they're an elite defense and they will certainly pose a difficult task for Jalen Milroe and this offensive line for the protection. What are your thoughts overall when you see these 2 teams on film and how they match up?
Now, don't get me wrong. Michigan is a tough team. They are good. Everybody, I was familiar. They got on my radar last year. Very familiar with them. Running back plays amazing. The play calling is second to none. But man, look, we talking about the SEC. You said it just then. I know they're not the SEC.
Well,
but means it changes the subject and direction of where the conversation was going.
Sure.
We are talking about the SEC. And all I'm going to say, all you big blue, gold blue, you're going to go home after this win.
Uh-oh. Mike McCoy is putting on it right now. Trust me, we're going to get to predictions in this show. But Mike certainly sounding confident when it comes to what Alabama can do offensively against this Michigan defense. Now, when you look at the Wolverines on offense, J.J. McCarthy, over 2,600 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, but the run game as well, also elite. And Blake Corum, he's a 1,000-yard rusher this year. He leads the country in 24 rushing touchdowns. They have several ways that they can attack you, but I also have been impressed with how this Alabama defense has stepped up late in the season. Obviously, Coach Steele doing what he wants to do and getting the most out of those guys.
Well, we're going to have our hands full, but I would, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Bama fan or I played, so none of that. If you look for a helmet on helmet, man on man, I think across the board we have a better lineup. I don't think they have a secondary that can cover anybody in this second that can cover any one of our receivers.
Okay.
And again, Milroe, again, you got him back there. Let the man drive the car.
Yeah.
Defensive wise, we can load the box up.
Yep.
And we can go one-on-one on the outside.
there's no question that when you get to this level of college football, that experience matters. And if there's one thing that Alabama certainly has on their side, it is experience. They've been there, done that, bought that T-shirt. Nick Saban knows how to win at this level. He knows how to execute at this level. We've seen him have the upper hand because of that experience. How much do you think that will play a factor for this ball club, even though there are some guys, that are newer pieces, transfer guys who haven't had a ton of significant snaps in a national championship caliber type of game, but still, when you're able to fall back on guys who have and coaches that have, I think it matters.
Without question, experience says, once you have a seasoned coach like Coach Saban, he's like that. I'm an old country boy, so when I see that big buck when it come out the woods, that big rat, he didn't get this big rack for nothing. Just like all them rings Coach Saban got. He didn't get those rings for nothing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he knows something. And if I've been where you're trying to go, I'm not going to show everything. Now, the Michigan, y'all can cheat all you want to and try to send your guys down here. But Coach Saban did that pump fake and bought one of your guys. So, checkmate. So, what you think I don't think you know. So
he did do that. He did do that.
Come on, listen, man. I'm gonna bring your old boy you got rid of in.
Yep, it's a business, man. It's a business, and that's part of it. Nick Saban knows how to play the game and does it in a really, really good way. Mike, right now, Michigan is a 1.5-point favorite in this game out in Pasadena, California. Let's talk predictions. We clearly have a lot of confidence in what Alabama can do on both sides of the ball against this team. Where do you think this one will end up on Monday, January 1st?
You know what? I'm gonna catch some flags for this. You want me to go ahead and call a prediction?
Oh yeah, do that now.
35-24 Bama.
Okay. So you think there's gonna be some points on the board?
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a lot closer. Again, Bama is a 4-quarter team, but I know like anything else, that second half, them boys come out. They make adjustments. They do whatever they have to do. And I don't see when you give Coach Saban this much time to prepare for a team, it's scary. It's scary. I'm just going to say it's scary.
Yeah, it's always a weird time, and you never know how teams are going to come out. But we do know that Nick Saban and Alabama Crimson Tide know what it takes to win at the national championship level. I personally have 24-21. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think Alabama comes out on top and roll on to play Texas for the national championship. So it'll be a fun one. I think it's going to be a great battle. I think that Alabama is battle tested. I think they've proven all season long that they are not the team that folks kind of thought that they were maybe around week 2 or week 3 of the season, and that they are an elite caliber team that we have seen from Nick Saban year in and year out. Guys, cannot wait for this one. It's the Rose Bowl, the college football playoff semifinals, a 4:00 kickoff in Pasadena, California. Mike and I hope to be joining you next week as we could potentially preview the national title game against Texas or Washington. For Mike McCoy,
we'll see y'all next week.
He called it. For Mike McCoy, I'm Simone Eli. We'll see you next week.
Peace.